So, the guy that's been stalking me, he waited for me at the end of the food giveaway thing I volunteer at. So every single person was gone, and I was talking to just one of the gentlemen left, and he was about to leave, and the guy that was talking to me came up on his bike. So I just asked the guy, to stay. So I spoke with him, and he had already given a letter to my stepdad and keeps going there trying to get my number and where I reside, though I believe he already knows that. And he gave a letter to my son, but I had told him I haven't read any of the letters, so he asked again to give me a letter, and I said, my boyfriend and I have a boundary that I don't talk to men and he hasn't talked to women, so I can't accept a letter from you and I can't talk to you. That's just a boundary in my relationship. So I just kept repeating that over and over. So then he asked if he could give my boyfriend the letter, and I told him my boyfriend's a soldier and he will break your face. And he's like, that's not very godly. And I said, I'm the evangelist. So then he's like, brought it up again. And I was like, I'm just telling you, all he will do is break your face. Like, he's not going to say a word. He's not going to take the letter. He's literally just going to punch you dead in your face and break it. Like, he's very protective over me. He already knows you go to my stepdad's house. He knows you gave him a letter for me and my son a letter for me, and that my stepdad and my son have both asked you to stay away from me, and I've asked you that. He's just gonna break your face. So I can't receive a letter from you. That's a boundary in my relationship. So I eventually just said I have to go. So I just got home as fast as I could, and I hit the walker I borrowed. And that was it. But I think he's still going to keep trying to give me the letter. But I don't know. Oh, and he knows who my mom is too. I guess my mom, she just stopped over, and I went to tell her that the guy waited for me at the end of the food thing, and she said, I figured you were gonna tell me something, because the second he saw me, he took off and just ran, and I took off on his bike. So he knows who my stepdad is and my mom, and I really do think he's the one that took my walker, but I don't really know why he has such an interest in talking with me and stuff, but I'm just hoping he loses interest. But the good news is I was having a very hard time speaking. I've been having that quite a bit lately. And the moment I was approached by him, typically it would release cortisol on me and cause a flare-up. And that's what happened when he approached me the time at the boardwalk. Oh, I also did apologize to him for cursing him out, and I told him I was afraid and in my theta brain, and that was very wrong of me, and I am sorry for that, because that was very, very wrong of me. So when you do something wrong, you should always apologize. It's never okay to yell and curse at someone. I could have silently kept moving. But what happened this time, instead of cortisol being released, just the Holy Spirit came over me, and I was able to speak 100% clearly and be 100% in my healthy state of mind the entire time until I walked away. So that was just God, and what this is doing is what the devil means for evil, Jesus uses for good. So this experience of dealing with a stalker is strengthening me and making my brain learn to not release cortisol when I feel afraid or nervous, or like my boundaries are being crossed. So it's while I'm in my theta brain, it's strengthening me emotionally and teaching me to have emotional strength in my theta brain, which takes a lot of self-control, because your theta brain, you have the emotional capacity of a child. So it's like training a child's brain to have adult emotions and self-control and strength. So the Lord is using this to teach me to rise above it and to be able to go into my adult way of thinking when I feel threatened and afraid, and into health, rather than my brain feeling it has to protect itself and going into child mode and flaring up. Because if I get afraid or an extreme emotional surge, all my nerves start firing and parts of my body start instantly becoming paralyzed on the spot, and within minutes I could go into seizures. So God's using this experience, which is a kind of extreme experience, but I need extreme to heal quicker. I need to dive into the lava and swim through the lava, because I'm trying to do a 2.5-year turnaround in 12 months physically, but I need mentally to remain out of flare-up to physically put in all the work to get through physical therapy and get through the muscular telepathy. I can't say the word right now. So it's going to take a lot of mind control to work my body and to stay out of flare-up. So God is really, really using this to strengthen me. And every time that this man does something does something, and I believe there'll be more things, in the future, because he still wasn't able to get this letter to me and feel heard, right, and seen. And he probably knows Adam's work schedule, and he would, know by how many bikes are outside, how many kids are here, when there's lots of kids and when there's not and stuff. This video is an evangelism video and a video on a recovery journey of chronic illness. So if everyone could just please keep the comments just very godly or on health, I would really appreciate that. So the Lord just keeps strengthening me through these experiences, because God's already won the battle. And the Lord says, devil, get behind me, and he has to listen. So every single attack from the devil, all the speech problems that I'm encountering, instead of it making me shy away from speaking at city council, it's just, hey, if God has me speaking with a stutter, if he has me in my child's brain, however he has me presenting myself at that moment in time is the way he wants me, because I prayed, God, put me in the exact way you want me, for them to receive the exact message you want them to hear and the way you want them to hear it. So if he has me as a stuttering little child, that's the way they need to receive the message. And if he has me as a bold adult in my adult brain, that's how they're meant to receive the message. So I'm gonna go in there any way God has me in that moment. So the closer you are and the bigger your calling, the more attacks the enemy is gonna try to use against you, right? And the fact is, growing my internet is the way to reach the most people. So I get a lot of sexual predators on my videos. I posted that screenshot of someone talking about anal with me. I get a lot of bullying, a lot of different stuff, right? Because the devil doesn't want me touching tens of millions of people, hundreds of millions of people with my testimony of healing. My disorder has a 20% success rate over the course of 7 years. You know, the devil doesn't want me to be part of reversing those numbers, because if he does it for one person, he could do it for everyone. You know, if I could go from 100% health, 100% through this whole disease and through recovery in 24 months, you know, it's gonna give hope to all these people that have had it 15 years, 17 years. I go into all the chat rooms that have 20,000 people, 5,000 people, all the people with this. I have over 500 people that I know of, and possibly more, with FND on my Facebook, you know, and lots of people with other chronic illnesses. And I've been filming every day of my recovery since November. So my YouTube has 101 videos from November in no chronological order, just all uploaded on the same day. But they start in November and go to present day of just my walk through it. But I'm going to do in 12 months what would take 2.5 years of recovering my body, so people don't have to look ahead that have been basically bedridden for a year. And they could say, hey, I could tackle this with the Lord in 12 months. And I'm going to push my body past its limits every day. And it's going to look to the world like I'm getting sicker and sicker, because the more I work my body, the more I'm going to flare up cognitively. The more I'm going to have the Tourette's, the inability to speak, the stutter, the not being able to get words out, lots of flare-ups being in that theta brain. It's going to look like I'm getting a lot worse, but what's actually happening is I'm clearing away the rubble, and my body's going to be putting so much energy into repairing itself, and it's the first time I'm getting treatment in a year. And September 18th is my very first appointment with a neurologist since getting a neurological disorder. So because I'm going to be putting so much work into working with a neurologist for the first time, and so much work for the first time, I've only gone to a couple of physical therapy sessions ever. So now having physical therapists come to my house twice a week and pushing that, my nerves, they're going to be shooting like crazy all over every day. So my pain levels are going to be insane. My neurological symptoms are going to be insane. But it's my healing process, so I'm getting better. So you get worse before you get better. So it's going to look like I'm deteriorating when I'm not doing my neurological stuff with that doctor and my regular doctor work and physical therapy. I'm going to basically be 100% bedridden. I'll try to get out for some walks, you know, push myself to the max with as often as I can walk. But it's actually like just the storm clearing itself. You know, if you think of a tornado and there's rubble everywhere, this is, you know, my rubble all just getting blown everywhere. But at the end of the year, I mean, I know how to work with all new neurotransmitters. The old ones can never reconnect the same way ever again. So you're a neurodivergent the rest of your life, even in remission. But that's what the neurologist is there for, to teach you how to be functional with using a different part of your brain. And they teach you how to build new neurotransmitters, right? So it's going to be a year of a lot of hard work, but whatever they tell me I do, I'm going to do double, triple, quadruple of. And any second I can physically step out of bed, Even if it hurts like hell, I'm going to keep doing it, because every day I'm in bed is another 2.5 days that I push back recovery. So even sitting up causes an astronomical amount of pain, because when I'm in bed, I'm in a complete laying down position or propped up with pillows if I'm in a sitting slant. So sitting up, my entire body trembles with pain, holding my phone, everything. So I've been forcing myself to just be out of bed sitting up. But, you could have extreme pain for another year, or you could have extreme pain for another 2.5 years. So, you dive in the lava and swim through 1 year, or you keep it around for 2.5 years. So I'd rather do everything quadruple what they say and get through it, no matter how bad it hurts. I'm going to the lake today to meet up with Tim and Mom and possibly Pam at 3 o'clock, and that walk is brutal. That walk through that path of it's all dirt and branches, and I have to use the walker, and the way it feels, that walk, it's hard to take that walk not crying. I stay in the spirit the whole time. I think of Psalm 23 as I walk through the wooded area. I talk to Jesus the whole time, but I'm in an astronomical amount of pain. I have muscle telepathy, so every muscle hurts, every single bone in my entire body. They're all, deteriorated, and plus it feels like you have full body RA with this, and so it's. But instead of being in bed, I'm fighting through the pain. I'm creating memories. I'm being productive, but also I'm not prolonging my recovery another 2.5 days, So you just keep pushing, and they swim through that lava, you force yourself. You just force it, you know what I mean? You're going to be in pain whether you're in bed, or you're going to be in pain whether you're out, forcing yourself to be out, not prolonging your recovery, So I choose every day to swim through the lava, and all these days now since the, I don't know for how long, I've just been sitting up, and even when I'm in bed, forcing sitting up, and just, everything, my entire body's out of alignment. So I'm waiting on God to be able to afford a chiropractor, because our broken system doesn't cover chiropractors under insurance. So, I'm just trying to learn how to move my hips, and every day my body forgets how to walk at some point. So when it forgets how to walk, I just do my doofy walk and press into it, and I just keep walking however my body walks until it walks correctly. And as I lose the ability to speak, I keep talking through it till it starts talking normal. I do the same thing when I break out in Tourette's. I keep speaking into it until it comes normal. So as you press into your symptoms, instead of letting them pass, or getting anxiety, or releasing cortisol, or becoming embarrassed, if you just rock out with it, you start gaining back control. But it's all on loving yourself too. Love yourself as much in perfect health as you do when you're stuttering, or Tourette'sing, or seizuring, or walking with a walker, or walking like you have MS, or slouched over, whatever state you're in. You have to love every bit of you, you know what I mean? And I remind myself every day, what I have is a luxury, because I go through flare-ups. Every single symptom I have, there's points I don't have it. There's people that every single symptom I have, they experience that symptom every day, and they can't get out of it. I go in and out of wheelchairs, but I can get out. I go in and out of walkers, but there's times I don't need them. Like, there's people that the symptoms that I have, it's not flare-ups for them. That's their everyday life, So that's why I do videos every day. But I was timing my videos to do them at the point of the day that I was at my healthiest. But now I'm gonna do them at the points I struggle to speak, so everybody else with health issues could be encouraged to also speak up, whether it's stutters, or times that just no words come out, or whatever it is, Tourette's, whatever, because God gave everyone a voice, even if it's a bit broken up or low, you still have a voice to be heard. And what's funny, when they say God has a sense of humor, there are people that God literally made to be evangelists or public speakers or motivational speakers, that he made, that part of your gifting is you have Tourette's or a very bad stutter or speak very slow, yet you're called to be a speaker because you're showing him you're rising above your disability, and you're more of an inspiration to everyone else with a disability to rise up, and you're like rising above it, and you're still saying, yes, God, this is how you made me, I'm still gonna do it. And people get healed by stepping into their destiny despite their drawbacks. Not saying like, oh God, you called me to be a public speaker, but you gave me funny that the word I can't get out is the word that I'm trying to express, and that's the word I'm having an issue with right now. The word is, I'm actually not faking this, I swear, stutter. That's the word. But God gives you extra grace, and he'll put you on the Holy Spirit, and you'll find that as you step out into still speaking with those drawbacks, that you'll go through really healthy periods once you speak through them. He'll give you that extra grace, right? But if you guys saw how I am, 80% of the day, and how I actually speak, and saw me not the couple my good hours and when I selectively choose, you'd actually be in shock. I speak really, 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 really bad. So I'm gonna start doing more videos in that way, just to encourage the rest of you, because so many of you are sick and have the struggle, and I just feel like that's what the Lord just recently placed on my heart. And again, part of loving and accepting yourself and doing it, in the exact state that God put you in, And when I did not have my diagnosis, I was laying in the hospital, paralyzed from the neck down, and the options at that time were cerebral palsy or stage 4 or something, and probably about to die, right? I was just playing my worship music, and I had a visual in my head, and I told God, if I'm just going to be a hand walking in my wheelchair, completely bound with just a hand, I'm going to travel the world talking about you. And that's what I told him, because I didn't think I was going to die at that point, because I knew I had a calling, so I figured it was cerebral palsy. So I just, and God knows your heart. You can't ever trick him because he's in you. So he knows your thoughts, So I just said, I had the visual in my head, and I said, I'll be in my little walker with my one little hand, traveling the world, praising your name, Lord. And I then got my diagnosis, and it was actually somewhat better, but in that diagnosis, you could also actually be paralyzed from the neck down for the rest of your life. But then you could also not be. It could just be some years, it could be some months. Any part of you at any second could become paralyzed for any amount of time, Any flare-up could last months, years, whatever, So you're always living in the moment, because, I could lift my hand right now, and then it could freeze, and it could be like this for months or years. Actually, there were lots of times that for months they were like, or not months, but there'd be like multiple days it would freeze like a pterodactyl. And actually times I had to eat with my face like an animal because my hands and arms were frozen. Actually, it brought back a funny memory, because when I was a little girl, my friend Nicole and I had an eating competition with TV dinners, turkey, Hungarian man TV dinners, and she got a pea stuck in her nose. So as I was eating this meal, it was actually like a Thanksgiving meal from the church that they brought me back, I was just thankful there was not peas on the plate, but I did have to eat it like an animal. So I guess, yeah, it gains more appreciation. So it was better than Sarah Mapazi, but there'll be times that I'll just have to still listen to God and do things with my symptoms. But recently he did put on my heart that the times I can't speak and I have a stutter and words won't come out, to start doing videos during those times for the people like that watch my videos, you know, and to help people that don't love those parts of themselves, or people with those disorders that don't love that about themselves or feel embarrassed, to empower them and encourage them to step out, and to pull on some heartstrings of some of those people that have callings that aren't stepping into them because of those things, and or that are waiting on God to heal them of those things, and then saying, God, yeah, I'll become a public speaker once you heal my stutter. And you know, it doesn't work that way. Some of you with stutters and things like that, God's gonna call you to bill collector. They call a lot, and I dodge all their calls. And when I pick up, I say, can't get plugged from a stone, and I hang up. Truth. But that's, God's just gonna give me enough money to buy a house outright in cash, because I will never have credit ever again. And they say never, but the truth is I'm not gonna get a job ever again for the rest of my life, even when I'm 100% healed, because I will only ever get paid to speak about Jesus forever. And I don't even know like how you find like, oh, and I never want a mortgage. I don't want to be tied down like that. I have more of like a gypsy soul. But and I don't know how like you even go get a mortgage. Like, I talk about Jesus. Sometimes someone sends me $5, and other times somebody sends me 5,000. Yeah, I don't know what my monthly income is. It's whatever, you know, Jesus puts on people's heart that month. I don't think that's going to get me a mortgage. After 4.5 years in real estate, I can tell you it's not. So I think he's just going to make me super, super rich some, like, Jesus way. That I'm going to be, whoa, thank you, Jesus. I have been craving oysters. I told Adam today, before he left to go do a landscaping job, I said, thank you for doing this and working on your day off. And I'm like, it's not going to be like this forever. When I'm famous and rich, like, I'm going to pamper you. And he's like, what? I was like, I'm going to buy you a Turkish cotton robe, just because it's going to feel soft. And he's like, all right. You know. But I was laying in bed like a couple weeks ago. I have no track of time. That's the other thing. So I have no track of time. My brain literally doesn't keep track of season, whether it's night or morning, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours. I literally, my body can't register. It's like erased from my body 100%. Like, if I talk to someone and I walk away, I will be like, I don't know if I talked to them for an hour or a minute. Like, there's no way for me to tell. And the dementia on top of the no ability to tell. So like, there's times I get dressed literally like it's the winter, and I walk outside and I'm like, oh, it's the summer. You know, I have to go in and change, or yeah, I just literally don't know. I'll forget. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, irrelevant. And I forgot what I was talking about. Crap. Oh yeah, so God always calls you to say yes before you're prepared, because he wants you to say yes completely unprepared, and then he gets you ready for it. He's like, always, that's because that's how you have faith. You're completely unprepared. You're like, Jesus, I can only ever do this with you. And then he prepares you. Yeah, so 2 things. One, when I met Adam, like within the first couple days, I just said, and like I'm at the point that I literally couldn't even stand for 2 minutes alone, and he had to like literally walk me to a toilet just to go to the bathroom, and I was super, super sick. And I just said, listen, I gotta know 2 things. Are you okay with me being super famous and me traveling the world? And he's like, yeah. And I think he blew it off, but that's definitely gonna happen. So I'm holding him to it. He said yes. So 2 weeks ago, we were laying in bed, and I found a African necklace, and then I found like this tropical beach necklace, right? And I just was like, oh, I'm going to Africa. Oh, I'm also going to a tropical beach. So I walk in the bedroom and I told Adam, like, I'm going to Africa and I'm going to a tropical beach. And I was telling Mom that too. And she's like, how do you know? I was like, because I found this African necklace in this tropical beach. So I'm going to be on tropical beaches and I'm going to Africa. And she's like, cool. So then I was laying in bed and I was like, Adam, when I go to the tropical beaches, are you coming? And he's like, you don't just say things you don't know. I was like, no, I know this. I found the necklaces and then it spoke to me. Like, that I just had that feeling. So the very next day, I was on the phone and somebody was like, I'm praying for you to come on this missions trip with me to Africa. And it's like the very, very end of Africa where it's all beaches. And I was like, yeah, I'll be there, you know. So I was like, I told you, Adam, I'm going to go be on tropical beaches in Africa. Like I just said, please start listening to me. Like, and he's like, you know. But I'm really excited to start like traveling the world. I gotta say, I have mixed motive. I'm a complete foodie, so part of my excitement is 100% the food. I can't even deny that. And also, I used to work with these 3 people I called my work family, and my eyeliner is actually tattooed on. So if you guys are wondering, like, how does she put on eyeliner every day? One, I could never. It's literally just tattooed on. I got it done like many of years ago. But, so I got my eyeliner tattooed on, like, I guess probably 3 years ago. And my work buddy Johnny was like, why'd you do that? And I was like, for all the waterfalls I'm going to be swimming in, I want super cool waterfall pictures. And it's going to like rinse my eyeliner into my eyes, and I'm just gonna look crazy. And he's like, what waterfalls are you gonna be swimming in? I was like, a lot. So I do believe wholeheartedly I'm gonna be swimming in lots of waterfalls around the world. So I'm excited for that. And the 2.5 years recovery, I'm gonna do that in 12 months because I'm an overachiever and I'm doing it with Jesus. And I want to show everyone else they could do it in 12 months, so they're not like, what, 2.5 years just to be a saggy, unhealthy, unfit 38-year-old woman? Because theoretically, they say that's just to get like to the baseline of like not toned, not in shape. It's not like a year of powerlifting that people are gonna like, whoa, that person's in shape. It's literally to look like you've never worked out a day in your life. It's just to have muscle tone of a person that barely lifts a pencil. But I'm gonna look like Xena Warrior Princess. What was really cool is God led me to speak to this lady at the concert, and I was like, I want a body like Xena Warrior Princess. And she's like, we're on the same page. My mom's nickname is Xena, and she has Xena tattooed on her. And she added me on Facebook and stuff, and she had just such like a spirit on her of like a protector, and I could tell like she's her mother's daughter, and she's just good people. And it was cool because it's cool too, like when God tells you like talk to someone, you have no idea why. He doesn't explain himself, he's God, you know. It's like you don't get to be like, but God, why? Like there's no conversation about it. He says go, you say okay. That's why, I actually had a beautiful moment. But anyway, it was nice like that you got that confirmation because one, barely anyone even knows who Xena is anymore. And she's like my idol my whole childhood. And 2, for it to be like her mom's nickname, so she got that instant connection with me. So now she'll probably actually watch my videos and we'll probably stay in touch and stuff. Because in the future, I'm going to go to a lot more concerts. Now that I know the music gets me so amped that I could stand and walk once I get through my autism and fear of literally everything and have to hide like a mouse. But once I face that, the rest of the concert's really cool. There was something so good. I don't know what it was. It was so good. Oh yeah, but I'm gonna power through and roll the leak today, and it's gonna be a good day. And it's nice too. Like, there's times I'm walking the leak and I'm just hysterically crying. Hysterical. The pain's so bad, I'm just walking, boogers out my nose. And you need that level of freedom to feel just so dedicated to your recovery that you don't care if you break out into a seizure in front of 100 people, you know what I mean? Like, you're just gonna get up and do it, whether you're crying, walking back and forth. Like, you can't be like, oh, I'm embarrassed, I'm maybe crying. I don't give a crap how I look, you know what I mean? I'm doing it. When I was pooping and peeing my pants, like, I kept going to the YMCA. If I peed myself on the machines, I would have just went and got bleach and cleaned it up. But it never stopped me from, if it was the day I could leaving bed. You know, you just, nothing could stop you. You just gotta be, you know, a warrior. The only one that could, like, get through this is you. You know, nobody else could jump in your body. I told Amber, I was like, I know this is, like, such a devilish thing to say, but, like, it would be super cool, so selfish, so messed up to say, if it was, like, Freaky Friday and we could trade places and I could be, like, just, like, young, healthy 19-year-old just for a little bit, but, like, that would be so messed up to put you in my body, you know. But maybe if there's, like, a super evil person, you know, like, super, super evil, and God was just like, all right, Ashley, this person's so bad, you can have their body, and they could just be in your torture chamber, you know what I mean? It might turn them good. 24 hours feeling what I feel, I swear, a full-grown man would be down on his knees crying, like, Jesus, I repent for everything I ever did. You know, even a man that never said Jesus in his life, he'd find God real quick feeling this. Oh, but here's, like, what's cool. I was thinking about today. So, how my face, my eyes are always sunken in, and the bags and all that, and how I literally don't have that when I'm not in excruciating pain 24/7. Once I get to a level of not so much pain, and I'm not going to look so crazy and freaked out all the time, like a cracked out, like, you know, my face is going to look relaxed, and this is going to go all away. I was telling Adam today, I'm like, I'm going to be a hottie. God's going to, like, restore the time you lost, and what I'm thinking is it may have only been, like, start to finish a couple of years. It felt like a decade, so I'm expecting a decade of youth, so I hope he supernaturally tightens all of this, you know, but when this is, like, all gone and my face is just relaxed, they do look quite a bit younger and more peaceful and more approachable, not like, you know, it's, you can't care people, like, you can't care what people think, because I'm telling you, any single person in the world, when I'm walk, like, sometimes at night, you would think I'm a strung out junkie, because I'm falling all over, I'm stepping sideways, like, I can't walk straight, I'm swerving, I'm stopping, I'm leaning against poles, my eyes look like this, everything I own, look at my shirt. You're killing me, Smalls. This is not mine. Everything I own either belongs to my son or my daughter, because since losing my job, I haven't been able to buy anything I would ever wear, and I've lost so much weight. Nothing I own could even fit with a belt. So I look like, you know, I'm strung out, but I'm not going to be like, I'm embarrassed. Everyone's going to think I'm this strung out, whatever. Who the hell cares? I'm getting in, you know, some steps. You know what I mean? You gotta, like, you can't be a people pleaser. You gotta be super authentic. But you guys, when God starts pouring, like, showering his blessings of wealth upon me, you're gonna be like, dang, she dresses awesome. Or you're gonna be like, oh, okay, she's weird, even healthy. Whatever. I'm gonna love it. And, it's gonna be super comfortable, because I have sensory issues galore. But it's gonna be awesome. But you guys are gonna be like, she's really stylish. I'm actually super, super, super stylish. Like, really, really stylish. You guys are gonna be like, I want fashion tips. And I'm gonna be like, you're gonna have to come to Geneva, because I'm only gonna shop local to support local business. So that's going to be my fashion tip. Come to Geneva and shop local. I know you guys are still waiting to see what it looks like, but that's on pause till God makes it rain. He will. A promise from God is the most concrete thing in the world, and I know the promises He has for me, so I'm excited. I'm super excited. All right, so there's 3 mystery bags directly on the other side of the train tracks. I don't know measurements anymore, or distance. That part of my brain has been erased with many other parts, both good and bad. But you know the line of the song I always think of, some drink to remember, some drink to forget. So some of the parts of my brain I lost good, some of the parts of my brain I lost bad. But, you know, it's like the song. So some parts forgot to remember, some parts forgot to forget. So it's like, I probably lost some bad stuff too. I feel a lot lighter and happier. Anyway, there's 3 bags. I'm gonna flip you guys around, since the world knows where I live anyway. Okay. I don't know if you could see. Let me stand up. Ugh! Oh, you can't see it. But, okay, so I'm pointing at it. Whether you could see it or not, I have no idea. But directly on the other side of that train track is 3 bags. And they randomly appeared there, like, I don't know. I have no track of time. Recently. But it's been more than a couple days. A few suns have risen. And I want to go and look at them, because there's been no person sleeping there. They were just left there. They're all filled to the max. And part of me is like, curiosity killed the cat. Part of me is like, I have no adventure in my life. I want to know what these mystery packages that were dropped off right in sight of my balcony are. Also, do I want to know? I do want to know more than I don't want to know. I've talked myself into it. I'm going to look at what they are today, because I can no longer resist. It might be something cool. It might be something, I don't know what it's going to be. But I'm going to go through all 3 bags. I don't know. I've stared at it for too long and built up too much in my head to, at this point, not explore. So I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go down to the lake a lot earlier. Tim's going at 3. Mom's going around the same time. But I figured, oh, I don't know if I posted the picture or not, but I made a frame. Maybe I posted it. I think I did. But yeah, I made a frame to tie in the fireplace. It's going to go to the right of it. And then I'm going to print out pictures at Walmart one day, and make a collage to go in there to just... My thought is this. Days that I can't get out of bed at all, which after the surgery will be quite a bit, my family can still feel like I'm in the house, because it will just be like, Ashley, exploded all over. So they'll still have that mom feel and that mom comfort and that mom presence, even when I'm in bed. So I'm trying to like build as many arts and crafts as I can and get the ambiance like set up for like, you know, when everyone's inside and stuff. So it's like pretty special to me. So I'm finding just ways to feel, I don't know. I can't do a lot of the things I used to do, so I'm trying to find new ways to do new things. And it's been fun, you know. I don't actually remember what responsibility feels like. Most of my adult brain and adult memories have been wiped out. It's like when you first get sick, it's like you had a major stroke, even though you don't actually have a stroke, but you lose every single memory of everything in life. Like, you don't even remember to brush your teeth or put on deodorant. Like, you don't remember literally anything, nothing about yourself, nothing, nothing in life. But all of adulthood really never came back to me, like a significant part of it. So I don't remember what responsibility feels like. I don't remember what like adult pressure feels like. I don't remember what having a routine feels like, keeping track of time, like all these adult pressures and adult systems. Like, I don't remember the feeling of them because I'm in the theta part of my brain, so I'm more like childlike, and I have no routine, so it's like I'm also retired. And Adam takes care of everything, and I can't articulate things, like I can't fill out paperwork or read paperwork or anything. And visually, if I try to read, it just starts looking like another language or blurs, or just I just can't really read. And then if I can read visually, I just don't understand it, or I forget the line before by line number 3, so I have no idea what I'm reading, So I was telling Adam today, it's hard since I'm 19, being hyper independent, supporting 2 kids alone my entire life, being completely independent, to completely 100% reliant in every category of life, from everything, having no independence and needing help with everything, even the simplest things. There's a lot of times if I'm out too long, by the end of the day, my whole body locks up and my legs stop working, that I can't walk. I'll have to, then get assistance walking, changing out of my late clothes. I couldn't even get myself changed or on a toilet or stuff. And you become so dependent, and then you become reliant on every single person in your life. So you went from like hyper independent to needing no one and nothing, to every single person in your life you depend on and you rely on. And it's just a weird feeling, You go from driving your whole life to you can't drive, or times you can't bathe yourself or change yourself or, support yourself or get a job, But it makes you realize, I had a lot more faith in me than I did in God. My faith was in my paycheck. My faith was in my health. My faith was in my intelligence. It wasn't in God, Now my faith is nothing in me because I'm, sometimes like a useless baby, Can't even feed myself or lift a cup, or open the fridge. Or remember where I live or who I live with, or, So, it's just, been a wild ride. And, it's gonna get a lot more crazy working with the neurologist, because, putting myself into hyper overdrive, working my body and my mind, the hardest it's been worked in a year, right? Because it's just been, getting by and living on prayer and walking with Jesus. Now it's putting in the work and doing, so it's gonna be a really, really rough year with a ton of neediness, and with the surgery, a ton of bedriddenness, and I'm gonna be a weight on everyone around me heavily, and very useless. But that time I'm going to be super, super close to God and getting super refined. So even though I'm useless on the outside, it's like a metamorphosis, and being in a cocoon and being super, super, super refined with Jesus. And then, when all this year is through, blossoming like a beautiful butterfly that's going to try to bring world peace. I'm kidding. Not trying to bring world peace, but yeah, trying to talk to tens of millions of people. But that's the stuff. And definitely trying to change my community 100%. But the end result will be worth the entire time in the cocoon. And relearning everything, you learned it once as a kid. What's relearning it all again? And, the relief I'm going to feel after all this time in pain and then all the pain from recovery, when I all of a sudden live my life without pain, I'm going to wake up every day with this gratitude in my heart, like, thank you, Jesus! Every day is going to be a good day. I'm going to be one of those bubbly, people that everyone hates, that they're like, I highly doubt her life's that great. And I'm going to be like, no. Every morning I wake up the bubbliest person in the world, because if you felt what I felt and now you don't feel it, every day is a good day. I could have nothing to do that day but live my day without pain, and it's a great day, And you appreciate everything way more. And you just lived through a miracle. And, you just see so much of Jesus and what he did and how he showed up, and miraculous are your ways, Lord, and the way he surprises you and the path he puts you on, and all the things he does for you that you never even dreamed in your wildest daydreams that just happen, and knowing every single thing is God ordained and God's divine connection, and you just see everything whoa play out this beautiful movie, and you're just all right, God, that's a little over the top, but hey, when you go from the pit to the palace is holy moly. I thought I was creative, but God, what you orchestrated, thank you. And who you made me into, thank you, And they say you have to lose your mind to find your soul, and that, that's what happened for me. As a little girl, I was just all about love and souls, and I was such a pure soul, you know what I mean? I had this charisma and this energy and this discernment. I had a ton of spiritual gifts. I could just feel everything on everyone. I was very gifted, right, in a lot of ways, and through life it went away, and it dulled my sunshine, and it tainted me, and now God's just giving back that childlike nature and that glow, and just pure healing, and that solid foundation, and just changing every single thing, making every dream come true, answering every prayer, reconciliation and everything, just pouring his love over everything that was once broken, making it whole. And when I look at my life now, all I see is God on everything, and I couldn't love him more. And every day I'm just what are you teaching me today? Use me as a vessel, and just every day I'm I'm fully surrendered. Take what you want to take, give what you want to give, anything you tell me to do, the answer is yes, but it's just a beautiful place to be, and happiness is real, peace is real, the peace that passes all understanding, that's real, being fully content is real, not having that worry clock in the back of your head that just, no matter who you're talking to, what you're doing, when you're at work, always overthinking, always worrying, always analyzing, always wondering, always waiting for the shoe to drop, that could disappear. You could literally wake up no matter what and be happy. And I wake up in an absurd amount of pain, because right by then all my meds are completely out of my system, and I do something that I call baselining. And what I do is I take an hour that I wait to take my meds, so I could see what my body feels like and how unhealthy I am off of meds. And I do this every day to gauge my level of health. I shake, I have the Parkinson's shakes, my hands are I'm trying to drink, I'm splashing it, I spill my cups, I'm pretty unhealthy, right? And the pain's pretty severe, but I get through the hour to see where I'm at. And that's my baselining, and I'll keep doing that so I know exactly where I'm at, right? And during that hour, I think about what I'm thankful for. And I have a lot of gratitude. And it's one of the best hours of my day. Because, yeah, I'm still sick. Yes, the hour of the most pain. Yeah, I still have a long ways to go and a horrific freaking surgery, But I wake up with so much gratitude every day of my life. For the people in my life, for knowing who holds my future, for knowing how great he's going to make my future, for knowing that I'm going to have joy in every day, happiness in every day. Like, I wake up every day with a heart of gratitude. I don't wake up with worry. I don't wake up, it's how are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? I'm not scared now that my cholesterol is crazy high because we eat off food stamps and food pantries. What I'm going to do is just speak about the hunger at the city council meeting and change so people like me don't have this issue. So I'm just gonna fight against it, but I don't wake up with worry. I don't wake up with regret. I don't wake up with dread. I don't wake up sad. I'm still sick. I wake up inspired and hopeful and just like, I can't wait to see where God takes me. I can't wait to see the places I go, the people I touch, like who I become. I can't wait to look in the mirror in pure health in a bathing suit and feel just healthy and strong. I can't wait for my future. And it's a little setback, but you know what I mean? Like a slingshot. This is the pullback, but what comes from here is going to be magical. And every day when I get to that point, I'm going to say, thank you, God, for that storm. Because what this storm leads to is so beautiful that it's worth every single moment of every single part of it, So that's really what everyone has to know about their storms. It's going to be worth every single moment of it if you surrender it to God and let him guide you through it and let him take you where it's meant to lead, You'll look back and you will say, thank you for that storm. Thank you for the length of time of that storm. You'll understand all of it once you get through it. But you have to keep praising him through it because you're going to feel like an idiot. At the end, if you were angry fisting him and then all of a sudden you walk into your palace life, your dream life, and you're like, oh, sorry, God, you're doing a lot behind closed doors. No. I am praising the heck out of him every day because I know what he's doing behind closed doors. I know the mountains he's moving. I know the hearts he's putting in. He's whispering in people's ears. He's preparing me, but he's also already preparing other hearts and putting me in the minds and hearts of other people. And he's gonna open ears and open eyes and have my words penetrate into people to make changes. When I speak, people are gonna know, oh, that's God speaking, and it's gonna bring forth change. He's gonna fill me with an authority that they're going to know is an authority of Jesus that's gonna put it on their hearts and minds of the people to make the change, to make it happen, So he's doing all this thing. He's already changing hearts of people to align with the things I'm going to be saying, that they're going to be like, I was just thinking this. I was just saying that, The outcome, man, of everything is going to be mind-blowing. So I just wake up God, I can't wait to see what you're doing with me, So I'm gonna go because I want to get ready for the lake. But enjoy your storm, make the best of it. Don't stop living. Don't get a pity party. Just, let it be a journey with you and God, and it will be one of the best times of your entire life. So that's all. That's all I got for now. Again, no track of time, so long or short, bye.